talking about the first type of supramolecule that we have to study is cyclodextrin. Cyclodextrin is a supramolecule that is obtained from starch molecule via activity of certain enzymes. Not only starch but any other polysaccharide that have alpha 1,4 linkage of glucose can also provide cyclodextrins. The enzymes changes the polysaccharide into a cyclic oligomer. So here you could see this is cyclic oligomer, and depending upon the number of glycopyranoside units there, we name them. The mainly 6, 7, 8 glycoside units are present in the cyclodextrin. These are the most commonly existing cyclodextrins, but there could be a higher number of units also. The 6 glucopyroside unit containing cyclodextrin is called alpha cyclodextrin, and respectively 7 is called beta. For 8 units it is called gamma cyclodextrin. So basically what is happening, glucose molecule undergo cyclic or cyclization, and a oligomer is obtained, and this will have alpha 1,4 glucose linkage in them only. Now if you look at this cyclic oligomer, here we have 6 glucose units in this cyclodextrin. So it is our alpha cyclodextrin. And if we talk about the type of hydroxy groups present, there are 2 different type of hydroxy groups. If you look at here inside the ring, these are primary alcohols, and on the outside you have secondary alcohol, and per 1 glucose unit we have 1 primary alcohol and 2 secondary alcohols. So basically the number of secondary alcohols is twice that of the primary alcohol, and this structure have a very unique property. If you look at these cyclic part of the structure, these form the sides of a bucket. If you take a bucket kind of structure and it is open from both top and bottom side, the surface of the bucket is formed by these cyclic parts where none of the hydroxy group is present, and the bucket will be something like that. तो आपका क्या होगा? I have drawn it from one side, or drawing it properly, ऐसा bucket होगा हमारा, ठीक है? One face is this, where the sphere is smaller. Other face is this one, which is bigger, and this shaded part, it's a cone kind of structure, same as the bucket. The bottom part of the bucket is also open, the top part is also open. So the smaller circumference have primary alcohols group attached to it, and the bigger circumference have secondary alcohols attached to it, and the surface doesn't have any of the these polar groups, or from polar what I mean is any hydroxy group. So the surface and the top and bottom both have different properties. Try to understand it using this. This is the same explanation that I have just told you. Let's move to this. This is the structure of our cyclodextrin, and on this boundary we have primary alcohols connected like this. Only one group is shown by shown in this diagram, but all the hydroxy groups will be attached like this, pointing upward, and the secondary hydroxy groups are pointing downward. So the middle part, this middle part is a bucket kind of thing, and it is empty from inside, so it have a cavity. And since the surface doesn't have any hydroxy group, so this cavity is hydrophobic cavity. Okay, and this cavity will have a specific size depending upon how many glucose molecules are used in the formation of this particular cyclodextrin. For example, for alpha cyclodextrin, 6 glucose molecules were used and the cavity obtained was 0.45 nanometer. For beta it was 0.70 nanometer. For gamma it was 0.85 nanometer. So depending upon the number of glucose molecule involved, this cavity will vary, and it can accommodate guest molecule of size respective to these sizes. So this is a hydrophobic cavity, so it could accommodate molecules like hydrocarbons. Aromatic hydrocarbons could easily come and accommodate into these cavities. Your neutral gases, inorganic ions, all those can come and accommodate into these cavities. Now, how the cyclodextrins are useful? We know that we get a cavity, we get a bucket kind of structure. It has hydrophobic and hydrophilic inlets, but the cavity is hydrophobic. So what are the uses of these? So we'll see that if we look at this. This is a cavity and these are naphthalene molecules. It's a hydrophobic cavity. Naphthalene being a hydrocarbon, it will try to accommodate itself into it, but being a larger molecule, it will not fit into this cavity, तो अच्छे से इसमें hold up नहीं हो पाएगा. But if we add some other guest molecule which is appropriate for this size, that could go and form a hydrophobic interaction with the cyclodextrin, and it will remove the naphthalene molecule. Now we had a naphthalene molecule inside and one naphthalene molecule outside. When these two naphthalene combine together, they form a dimer, and the dimer results in the emission of some light. So this reaction can be seen by detecting that emission of light. So this is very general kind of use of the cyclodextrin, but we'll move to one very specific enzyme reaction where cyclodextrin is used as an artificial enzyme. Okay, we know that enzyme exist in the nature and they are very specific for particular kind of reactions, but here look, we have a cyclodextrin which act as an artificial enzyme to catalyze the hydrolysis of phenyl acetate into phenol and acetate. Okay, so here our hydrophobic site, the inner cavity, acts as a binding site for the benzene. This is our phenyl acetate. It has a benzene part. So benzene is our hydrophobic part and acetate group. Acetate group is not hydrophobic. Okay, it's actually hydrophilic. So what happens on the larger outlet? From the larger outlet, your hydrophobic part of the molecule or the benzene part of the phenyl acetate goes into the cavity and forms a hydrophobic interaction. This helps to hold this molecule in the close proximity with the secondary alcohols. So now what happens? It is held up in the cavity. Now this hydroxy oxygen attacks the carboxylic carbon, and this double bonds, this pi bond cleaves, and this oxygen gets the negative charge. This kind of adduct is formed. Now this O negative will try to stabilize itself and form a double bond. This bond will be cleaved. Now what happened? This benzene is has actually taken up O negative. So this is a phenolate ion. This phenolate ion comes out of the cavity, and on the outer periphery of our cyclodextrin we have acetate group attached. When we add a base, this is representing a base. As soon as we add a base, this base facilitates the removal of acetate group. So this is very basic reaction which is catalyzed by our cyclodextrin. Here we have not added any kind of reagent. We had our reactant, we had our cyclodextrin. This cyclodextrin itself catalyzed the hydrolysis of this molecule, and later for removal of this acetate a base was added and it was removed. So this way cyclodextrin could be used, different cyclodextrin could be used to catalyze various reactions with a very high specificity. Like enzymes are very specific, so this is also very specific. If this benzene had any other kind of substituents present on it, which could have made this benzene group into a hydrophilic group, then this reaction would not have taken place in that case. So it is very specific for such kind of reagent. Only phenyl acetate will undergo this reaction.